5 to 10%, or whatever it is that they're trying to aim for.
And it kind of lowers the barrier to entry for those that want to participate in mining this new coin.
Right.
Whereas in Bitcoin, it necessitates a tremendous amount of capital.
In order to make it worth it, you have to have a lot of money in it.
It uses a lot of power, so the consensus algorithms they're being experimented.
So in that regard, that's one way of being secure, but in most of the others, it's the same.
Yes, sir.
Is there an age restriction to owning Ether?
Not by like virtue. It's literally like a function. So as long as someone has access to it, they can make it. Now by law, I guess companies or something will have to do some sort of check if they have to. But literally, it's just if anyone can make it. The system does not care. It has no notion of who you are.
Right. Yes.
Is there a limit on the amount of Ether that'll be out of the system?
Not yet.
Like,
there's no cap on price. Yeah, the Bitcoin price, for those that don't know, or Bitcoin supply is capped at 21 million, which I believe will be mined in the year 21, 25 or something.
Another 100 years.
Yeah. But yes, 21 million. Ether, no, there's no cap. Yes.
Yeah, another question regarding the issuance of a wallet, for instance.
Right.
If there's no age restriction, and you as an application developer, and you're leveraging Ethereum, would you, in retrospect, be able to, or hypothetically, be able to issue a wallet to somebody upon entry of your app, and then issue credits within your application, regardless of age?
There probably have to be some sort of terms of service written in, some legalese.
Yeah.
Neither of us are attorneys, so I don't know if we can really answer that question fully. But.
So yes, I mean, as a company, there's probably going to be some amount of like self-regulation where they do something like we specify, where they're trying to follow the rules of the law. But by sheer nature of it, the system doesn't care. The system's going to go like, oh, someone called this thing, it doesn't work, and that's it. It's not going to go like, oh, you're 25.
Oh yeah,
it has literally no way of doing that.
Yeah, the system doesn't delegate, or
So it'll just be people.
But I'm talking about maybe like overarching, legal entities that kind of like oversee this.
I mean, yeah, so I guess I don't know.
Where do they draw the line?
To be determined.
Yeah.
Understand, guys, that this space is very new, so a lot of the precedent, well, we're setting that precedent right now, versus other industries that are more established, and you have a legal precedent, cases that have been resolved to help future cases. Right now, there's a lot of this gray area for this. Yeah. So let's, question, yeah?
Sorry, two questions.
Sure.
So Ether is kind of like the currency?
That's correct.
Okay. So are you getting pushback like some banks and stuff, and because it sounds like it's...
So yes, effectively this can eat away at their lunch if it kind of gets proliferated, because it takes them out of it. And they've already kind of been exploring it themselves with Bitcoin, like working with blockchain stuff. They might end up coming up with a solution to kind of deal with that.
They're actually investing a lot.
So there's a company called Ripple that's supposed to be. Does anyone know about like clearinghouses for how a transaction gets processed with banks or anything, like interbank? So the overline's like the bank says I have $1,000. It goes to this other thing in the clearinghouse. It'll get cleared for 4 days, and then the other bank gets a confirmation. And goes
they're
like,
acting as
now
trust.
They have yes. So the clearinghouse is the center of trust. A company like Ripple is creating a blockchain where both banks can look at the blockchain instead, because that'll get resolved really quickly compared to the 4-day thing.
And it mitigates transaction fees.
Mitigates their own transaction fees. So they're probably going to build out some sort of system for themselves in the future. But yes, they're aware of it, and right now, no one's really doing too much production-wise.
Yeah, we're very much in an experimental phase. A lot of the companies who are building on Ethereum are early stage.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of companies that you can like link your Bitcoin or Ether to a credit card. So when you buy something with your credit card, it goes through. I mean, you still incur the bunch of fees on it, but that could be an option that could exist if that makes it easier for people to use.
How palatable is this for you guys so far? It's pretty good? All right, this is not an intuitive technology by any means, so I have a million analogies that I've worked out if you guys have questions. Anything from pies until, any food possible is an analogy for Bitcoin or something. Yeah?
What's the difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic?
Okay, well, that's going to require a little bit of history.
What was the question?
The question was, what's the difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic? I guess technically nothing.
Speaking of the source of it, there was one chain called Ethereum. There was an entity thing, a smart contract that was called the DAO, Distributed Autonomous Organization. Something went wrong with it, and the people in this decided to fork it. What that means is that there was one, and now after that decision, there was two. There's still the main one that is being supported by the people who forked it, and what's being utilized now, that's the one that's in the papers. But there technically still existed this other chain that with that other history, with the broken state. And so there's people who are just mining and working on a different network. They're the exact same thing, other than the blockchain, like histories will collide at one point, and the rest is the same.
Yes.
I'd like to hear another analogy about proof of stake.
Okay.
Because I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's say, for example, I'm gonna kind of like fudge this a little bit. Let's say you show up at a dinner party, right? And in order to get into the dinner party, you've got to bring something, right? You can't show up empty-handed to a dinner party. I mean, who would do that? So you show up with a bottle of wine, maybe some dessert, okay? So you walk into this party. We're getting shady. So in order for you to participate in the proof of stake algorithm, you need to bring something to the table in order to get access to all the other food that all the other people brought, right? If in the case that you bring a great dessert, and in this case it would be validating a node, then you get to indulge in as many of the other courses that everyone else brought as you'd like, right? However, if you show up at the dinner party and you bring I don't know, a poisonous cake, if you will, right? And you try to sabotage the dinner party. A burnt cake, yeah, you made some really crappy, whatever, melted ice cream cake. It's just not very good, right? And you bring that to the dinner party. Well, not only do you lose that, not only do they throw it in the trash, you do not have access to any of the other foods that everyone else brought to the table. So the idea of proof of stake is to incentivize good behavior by you putting up a portion of your funds that if you are a bad actor and you try to compromise the integrity of the node, you lose those funds. So because the buy-in, I think it's like 32 Ether, and 1 Ether is worth $400, someone do the math really quick, that's a lot of money that you would lose.
Is that scale depending on your processing power, or just?
No.
It literally is just gonna, like, when you get selected, you'll make the block with the information you have, and then submit it with a transaction that points to your Ether.
Yes, sir.
If there's no cap on Ether, why is the price so high? People just
Well, 3 factors really. One of the biggest factors, I guess, would be speculation. A bunch of people like us talking to a bunch of people like you, being like, "This is the coolest shit ever," and they're like, "Oh, right." Buy in. And standard market forces, supply and demand.
There's been a fair amount of like big announcements. You know, the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance has like 86 companies, and there was a lot of big companies from diverse.
Microsoft, IBM.
It was like Toyota and stuff like that. So it seems like it was a signal that people were taking as like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, you get buy-in from the big boys. It starts to kind of stabilize the currency, or at least
Shot it up.
yeah, it's starting to grow. It's a validation.
And the purpose is that there's going to be more and more transactions on it. So, for example, we make this ticketing platform. You're going to buy Ether to get into, you know, Kanye West or whatever have you. So now there's more money coming into the system.
Right. Yes, and back.
So how can you potentially leverage traditional means of financial channels such as like this credit cards, auto-convert your users, say with HelloSugoi, to instead
Working
of
on it.
yeah, I'm just talking about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big barrier to entry, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like, how can you reduce that friction and auto-convert their funds, their traditional funds, into Ether, use it within a parent account, and then just leverage that with the then contracts and models?
Well, it will get slightly more technical than I think we'll cover right now. I mean, we can talk about that later. There's ways to do that makes it much easier.
People are going to be trying to solve that problem.
Yes, exactly. The more value that the network generates, the more value there will be for entrepreneurs to solve problems to help grow the network. You know, much like back in the day, the internet in 1996, where you had to like unplug your phone, plug it into the modem, you couldn't take phone calls, and there was no streaming, no music. And it was just plain, you know, static HTML websites, which sucked. It got better because more people saw that. So payments, for example, like here's my little app, I want to start the credit card, and then immediately transfer the fiat currencies, for those people who don't know, fiat is standard dollar bills, into cryptocurrency. You know, that is something that a number of our friends are currently working on, and we're kind of like building those technologies right now. As right now, it's not the easiest thing to purchase cryptocurrency. The networks go down because there's all these people who are pinging their servers, and it's just, they're centralized. So there's this kind of like,
well, they also have to protect themselves aside from like the traffic, you know. There are a lot of laws like know your customer and anti-laundering laws that, you know, they have to kind of like know who you are. So they would require you taking a picture, a couple of other like more difficult steps in order to allow you to buy Ether. But that's like the companies protecting themselves from legalese. But the system doesn't care. So if I had, I could literally make a wallet right now and trade with Jason $100, and that no one stopped us from doing anything.
Right. So once you're in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, these transactions are incredibly easy. Anyone can do it. It's a couple of buttons. Yes.
So kind of building off of that, again, I'm really into this stuff, so it's kind of a question.
All good.
How do you get your money back in US dollars?
Why would you want to? No, that's actually the answer that we'd like people to say, because once you're in it, then you can buy anything, right?
Right.
So the idea of like buying cryptocurrency and then holding it and then cashing it out for fiat currency, that's not what this is about really for us or for a lot of people in the community. It's buying into it, having a holding of those cryptocurrencies. We develop the value of the utility of those tokens so that eventually there's no need to trade back for fiat, because you're going to get taxed. You're going to, you know, maybe ring some alarm bells if you're trying to take. There's limits to how much money you can take out.
So if you wanted to, there's probably some companies that can accept it. I know there's like Bitcoin ATMs, but literally you just need to find someone to do the opposite trade. Someone who's trying to come in and you're trying to get out. So if you had like one Bitcoin, I had $3,000, we could make a trade, and we could just do it with ourselves. Or, you know, do a transaction. Yeah, well, I'm just really stating that. If you wanted to, you just have to find someone who's trying to do the opposite trade.
Question over here.
So what are you guys' thoughts on like this onslaught of ICOs happening and how that's impacting?
Oh wow, that's a whole nother conversation. If we have time at the end, we'll talk about that. Well, I'm very passionate about that space, and we're currently devising our own utility and token mechanism, so we're very, very close to doing our own kind of thing, but we'll talk about that afterwards. Okay, two more questions, we'll move on to the next thing.
As apps come online,
yes.
Is it going to slow down? And
no.
What do you think?
I don't think so. There's scalability issues probably, but again, I'm going to use the modem analogy of the 1990s. The more people that demand, the more money or the more value that can be found in the network, the more people are going to start to develop and mitigate those issues. Hopefully. Yes?
Sort of using your saying, oh, why would you want to cash back into the US dollar or something? Isn't Ethereum then sort of a bet against like the basis of like a nation state?
Yeah.
And or is there counterexamples where there's actual governments who force issue of currency that?
Well, Dubai is an example. Actually, I'm sorry, Singapore. Singapore, and don't quote me on this. I know recently, if someone else here may know more about this than myself, please chime in. But I understand that they're looking to back their currency with a cryptocurrency. So a crypto will be the reserve currency of Singapore. I know also, who else is doing that?
So that's the thing with
China,
Russia as well.
Russia,
China, and Singapore.
Yeah. So there's some major companies.
So like, at some point, a cryptocurrency could be, you know, the gold standard.
And then there are also coins that are attached to the US dollar, like Tether. It's a 1-to-1 ratio of what the US dollar is. So places like Russia, they're trying to do the same thing with Ethereum back as well.
Right. So the idea is that the token provides a utility where there's no need to trade cryptocurrency for what is in effect debt. Because you're basically, your money in a bank account is, you're just holding debt. All right, but enough about that stuff. Here's some glossaries. If anyone wants to take a quick little photograph of this for some terms, we're going to talk about these things. The main thing to keep in mind, guys, as we move on now to Internet of Things, are smart contracts. Okay? Think of smart contracts. It really does apply to what we're about to talk about. Okay, so I got the phones up there. We good. Frame it nice, make it look nice and pretty. Instagram filter. Hashtag HelloSugoi. All right, we're moving on. We can go back to. We might even show the slides after, although we can IoT, Internet of Things. So this is basically what this means is that devices will have connectivity to the internet, which means devices can talk to one another. Right? So for example, this TV is an IoT device already because it connects to the internet. Your car is an IoT device if it's built before or after the year 20, I don't know, whatever. Cars are basically computers, right? That can be kind of hacked into, I guess, as there have been negative examples of that in the press. And many, many more things like refrigerators and toasters and alarm clocks and essentially any device these days, a trash can. And Angello could be an Internet of Things device.
And that'd be like the things that I have inside, like like a hard piecer or like an E, anything that might require, or if you want to charge for something for use over time. Right. So for example, the TV. Normally we have like a cable service and buy an $800 TV, and we connect them. Let's imagine the TV just has a direct connection somehow to the cable system. And when I turn it on, for every hour I get charged $2 or $1. Right? Now there's actually a way to kind of mitigate that. And the cable company can feel assured that they're going to get paid because before they submit the signal, they're going to check the TV has money inside of it.
Right. So you have your TV.
So they go like, oh yes, this TV has Ethernet, cool, I'll give it an hour. And it'll check again in another hour. So now they may not even be needed for subscription service. And I just came up with that, I don't know.
And there's another kind of bouncing off of that. What you watch, the data of what shows and during what time and your demographic, that's valuable information that we're not extracting anything from. We don't get anything from that. Like, what is Facebook or what is Instagram or what is Spotify without the content? It's nothing, right? Yet the people who are creating that content, providing those networks value, get nothing in return. The people who own those servers are the ones who are benefiting from that data. So the TV, you could actually have a smart contract with the TV and the TV service provider that says, I will provide this information or this data, and you will earn a token for providing that data. So you actually get paid for that value. And that token can then be traded for other things, like paying your electricity bill, or putting electricity into your electric car if you're driving a Tesla or something.
So for the example before, maybe if you put the game on, it costs more, so either way it ether faster. But maybe if you allow it to kind of turn the camera on and try to detect how many people there are in the room, it'll charge you $8 instead of $10. It'll give you some sort of arrangement that way. I'm just kind of coming up with stuff. And I hope just think about some sort of device in your life, and you see if you can come up with a scenario. Just tell me about it. You can probably come up with something that might use it.
Yeah, here's a little graphic that I stole from the interwebs. I'm sorry I can't give credit to whoever did that, but we're not there yet for Internet of Things tracking this. Anyways, so you can see here before 2005, we talked about how everything is centralized in these servers. How things are right now, where we have open access to IoT networks, the centralized cloud, and in the future it's going to be this incredible web where everything is talking to everything else. One of the big issues that blockchain solves with Internet of Things is security. So I don't know, how many of you guys remember last year sometimes there was a, what was it called? There was an attack,
DDoS?
Yeah, exactly. That happened on like Facebook and Instagram, a lot of these big social media websites. You guys hear about that? Remember about this attack that closed down? Yes,